Hello, Steve Bedell, your EXP realtor in the Villages, Florida. I'm coming to you today. The day I shoot this, it is May 16, and I'm coming to you from the Villages, Florida. So here we go. Today I got a really important topic. I think you're going to find very interesting, and that's who should sell my home in the Villages, Florida. And by that, I mean, if you've been around a while, you know that in the Villages, there are two options. There are two completely different, separate markets here. One of them is property of the Villages. Now, that's owned by the developer. And property of the Villages, they sell all of the new homes that are built by the developer. As an MLS agent, I cannot sell a new home here because they're all built by the developer and sold by the developer. Now, when it comes to pre-existing homes or resales, it's a different story. I can sell a resale home, and a property of the Villages agent can also sell a resale home. And once again, though, um, we do not get together. They are two separate entities. Properties of the Villages sells their homes, and all the MLS homes are sold by all the MLS realtors. So, if you're a buyer, you need to have an MLS realtor, and you need to have a property of the Villages agent to buy a home. That's just how it is. Nothing they can do about it. If you like a home that's listed with property of the Villages, then you need to buy that one. If you list an MLS home, then hey, I can help you out. You can buy that one. Okay, but we're not here to talk about buyers today. We're here to talk about sellers. So there are some very key differences here, and I'd like to explain a couple of things to you about how they work. All right? Okay. So, who should sell my home in the Villages, Florida? So, we're going to take a look. There is a very big difference in using an MLS realtor or using a property of the Villages agent. All righty. So, whoops. Yeah, property of the Villages versus the MLS. Now, here's property of the Villages. Properties of the Villages owned by the Villages. Their agents are licensed by the city of Florida, but they work for property of the Villages. They do not sell any homes outside of the Villages. They only work from properties that are inside the sphere of the properties of the Villages. They're licensed by Florida. They're of course licensed. They all work for the Villages. All the new homes in the Villages are sold by agents that work. They work for properties of the Villages. They're not realtors. Um, I'll mention that for a minute. Realtors. If you're a realtor, that means that you are a member of the National Association of Realtors. You take a lot of tests and you have to pass a lot of things to be a realtor. And there also is an ethics code. Now, a property of the Villages uh, agents, do they have an ethics code? Not that I'm aware of, but I see some MLS agents kind of insinuating that because they don't take an ethics code, that maybe some of them possibly could not be ethical. I would not suggest that at all. I'm sure they're all great realtors, great agents, and just like MLS agents, there's some good ones and bad ones. Okay, I wouldn't let that affect your decision. But here's a big thing: they do focus on new homes. There's a great deal of focus. The Villages is building homes like crazy, and they are very they do kind of steer you towards buying a new home. Okay, so let's look at MLS. The MLS agents in the Villages, we sell resale homes only. New homes, don't have them, can't get them, ain't gonna get them. All MLS agents are realtors. We do have the ethics code, and we sell 80% of the resale homes that are in the Villages. And I think there's a big reason for that. And I'll tell you why right here. So why use properties of the villages? We'll take a look first at that side and see why you may consider using an agent with property of the villages. Well, they are very knowledgeable. They have very good training. They have their very good organization set up. It's a very well run, like everything in the villages, it's very well run, paid attention to detail. It's a very seamless operation. People are well trained. So they are, they are professionals. They do know what they're doing. Okay. Here's some negative factors though. And big ones. Here's a real big one right at the beginning. If you hire a property of the village's agent to sell your home, you are only going to get local exposure. You're going to get advertising in the Daily Sun newspaper, and you're going to be on the property of the village's website. Now, I know the properties of the village's website, that of course, it's a website, so anybody can look at it, but not everybody knows about it. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to the MLS section. You have a rigid listing contract. Most of the contracts are for 6 months, and it's very hard to get out of it. If you've got your home on the market for 2 months and it's not selling for whatever reason, and you want to get out, and you want to just cancel it, you're going to have a difficult time with that. They have you either can't get out of it, or there are stiff penalties for cancellations. And another big reason they have, well, let's say I have a listing, your listing, and the buyer says, well, I'm not sure about it. Can I see something else? Of course, I can show you other homes that are MLS listings, but the villages, they got a zillion homes that they can show you. And especially, they might want to flip you from a pre-existing home to a new home. But anyway, they sell a whole bunch of other homes. We're an MLS agent. We're going to be pretty laser focused on your home. Okay, let's take a look at the MLS. When you put your property and you list it with a realtor and it goes on the MLS, we're going to expose it to hundreds of sites. And this is the very big reason why you should be listing with a realtor because of MLS. The minute that listing goes live in MLS, it is sent out to hundreds of sites. And where is the first place most people go when they're looking for a home? They go to Zillow. They go to Redfin. They go to Realtor.com. They go to all these sites. Very first step, step one. And your home, if you're listed with an MLS realtor, then your home is going to be there. If you're listed with the villages, it's not going to be showing any place because they keep everything tight and in their own organization. So right off the bat, you're exposed to many more sites online. MLS, we have contract flexibility. We're independent agents. We can write whatever we want. You want a contract for a week? You can have it. You want a contract for 6 months? You can have it. You want to try to, you want a certain rate? Do you want, who knows? Do you want a 4% rate? Do you want a 6% rate? Do you want a 2% rate? All of that rate, time, cancellation policies, they're all flexible. You want to cancel your listing? Look, if you got a listing with me and you're not happy with anything about it, I'm just going to say that's fine. We got a handshake agreement. Bye. You take care. Sorry it didn't sell. You got to remember too, houses don't sell for a number of reasons. Not always, because it's not just because you got a bad agent. You may have a home that's an aardvark. You may have an odd home that there's not much demand for. It doesn't matter, but listings get canceled all the time. And if you've got an MLS agent, it's totally up to the agent to make a decision what to do about it, or whether they're going to charge you any fees, any of that. The MLS also has many more homes on the market in the villages, and we're just selling, typically, we're selling your house. We're going to make sure you get full attention to that house that you have. So there's a couple of very good reasons why you might want to consider using an MLS agent. There are even some who suggest, look, if you got an MLS agent and it doesn't work out, hey, then you can try properties of the villages. It doesn't work the other way, though, because you don't want to be locked in to 6 months, and before you're able to, if you have no luck selling your house, and then try to sell it. So, of course, maybe I'm a little biased here. Maybe, of course, I am. But it just makes sense to me when you look at these factors that if you're selling a home in the villages, you should use a realtor. You should use a realtor. The MLS system is at our disposal. And I think that's the best, quickest, easiest way to sell your house in the villages. Okay? Of course, I am an MLS realtor in the villages. So I hope that was helpful to you today. Remember, please like and subscribe. If you got any questions, email, call, whatever you'd like to do. But we're here to help you and would like to help you sell that home and buy a home. Okay? All righty. So that's it for today. I'll be back with another one next week. Bye now.